Right. And Durant hasn't played very well.
Oh, you don't say.
No. And these problems are much bigger than him. Mm-hmm. Ben Simmons hasn't played a single minute.
Yeah.
Nash is probably going to get fired.
Yeah, as he should.
Yeah. And after a year of carrying the Nets, it seemed like Durant is finally gassed.
Yeah.
But you can't possibly put all this on Durant. What's the situation?
Okay, so here's the deal. This is Kevin Durant's worst playoff series of his career. He was 9 of 24 in game 1. We all said he won't be that bad again, and that was his best game. Game 2, he was 0 for 10 in the second half. Game 3, he took one shot in the fourth quarter, shooting 36% from the field. This is the worst playoff series he's ever had. But that, to me, and that is a story, but there is a bigger kind of macro story that we are going to see throughout these playoffs and then throughout the next few years of playoffs that is going to snap something into focus, and that's what I want to focus on. Because what we are going to find out and what we are going to see is every single one of our great players in this league is going to fail to live up to the false standard that was created for LeBron James. And here's what I mean. Because what has happened in the media the last decade is out of a thirst and a quest to try to tear down LeBron. There were these false premises built. False premises of all-time greats never have bad playoff, awful playoff games, let alone awful playoff series. And so LeBron, to this day, has 2011 still hung around his neck. But that was a bad series a decade ago, more than a decade ago. But since then, every single year in the postseason, the moment LeBron had forget a bad series, because since 2011, he hasn't had a bad series, a bad game, it was a referendum. It was, this is why KD's better. This is why he's not Michael. And now those chickens are coming home to roost for everybody else's favorite guys. Because the rules of engagement have been best player in the league can't be bad in a series. And guess what that's going to end up with? There isn't going to be a best player in the league. It's just everyone's going to be ineligible. Jokic is going to get beat in 5 games. Giannis was awful in a series the year before he won the title. Durant's been awful here. We've seen Steph miss the playoffs and be bad in finals. Who's left? Joel Embiid is playing well at the moment. We'll see, but we've never seen him play in a conference finals. And so what has happened is there was such a fake standard built in order to tear down LeBron versus Michael Jordan that now the guys that many folks have wanted to elevate alongside, if not ahead of LeBron, not in the all-time pantheon, but in the contemporary pantheon, they're realizing, that's an unrealistic standard. Yeah. The idea that Kevin Durant, who, by the way, has lost 7 of his last 8 playoff games, has lost 5 playoff games in a row, was going to go his entire career and never have a terrible series was unrealistic. But that's the standard we were told.
The man's tired. I know he's saying he's not tired, but the man is tired.
Obviously, the man's tired. And I've been talking about how he's been playing 40 minutes a game since March 1st. How stupid that is. What a bad coaching job that is by Nash. And credit to KD for not using it as an excuse. But again, I want to just emphasize this point. There have been a lot of folks in my profession who have tried to argue for various reasons, forget LeBron versus Jordan, but that, LeBron hasn't been the best player in the league in years. That Durant was better than, that Steph was better than him for a couple years. That Durant's been better than him since the 2017 finals, hit that shot in his face. But now what everyone is going to experience is realizing, that standard demands you never have a bad game, let alone a bad series. And no one in NBA history lives up to it. Kareem had bad series. People want to pretend like Michael didn't. Go check the box scores. Go check Michael going 3 for 18, down 0-2 after a night of gambling in Atlantic City against the Knicks, and Scottie Pippen bailed him out. Check Michael in the 95 semifinals against Orlando when he was the fourth best player on the court. Check Michael pre-Pippen or in one of those Pistons series with Pippen. Michael had bad playoff series. Michael had bad playoff games. Giannis has had awful playoff moments. Durant, we're in the middle of it right now with Durant. Everybody's had him. Kobe blew a 3-1 lead. Kobe's 0-4 finals were a disaster. But we have created the fake world where no, the all-time, if you're really that guy, you don't have these. So now what you're either going to have to concede, okay, we were wildly unfair to LeBron James, or we're just going to enter a desert of greatness because nobody's going to live up to the standard. If people don't think if he stays in the playoffs long enough that Jason Tatum has a 5 for 21 in him, you're kidding yourself. But now it's like, oh, Tatum's the next guy. He's out playing Durant. Okay, Tatum's got a bad game coming. Giannis, I'm sure, will have an awful game. All of them will. But we created a world where that's not allowed. And so now Durant is paying the penalty. So yes, Durant's been awful. It's been odd to see these games. The games 1, 2, and 3 were all close in the fourth quarter. Game 1, his Nets have a 5-point lead with 4 minutes left, and they lose. Game 2, it's tied with 8 minutes left. Game 3, it's a 5-point game with 8 minutes left. All they needed was one great Durant quarter, and it's 2-1. 2 great Durant quarters, and they're in the lead in the series. They didn't get it. So yes, this is a bad look for Durant, but he's getting extra crushed because we've set the rules on you must always be excellent at all times, or else you're not that guy. It's an unfair standard. All right, what's next?
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.